Honorable Speaker, these pending bills is affecting the operations of our banking system. Honorable Speaker, we've seen banks making extremely huge provisions in their loan book because people are not able to pay, and most of these people are people who are owed money by government through the pending bills. Mr. Speaker, we also have to speak to another monster in this issue of pending bills, that we have government ministries owed money by other government ministries, and it's a big challenge, Honorable Speaker. A good example is a case of KPLC, for instance, that they are already under big pressure on operations, and they are owed money by other government ministries. Mr. Speaker, we are requesting the National Treasury to coordinate all the departments and ensure that intra-pending bills within government are sorted out, and this will ensure that the government parastatals, which are the big financial challenge, can at least survive. Honorable Speaker, the other monster is the monster of stalled projects. A lot of these stalled projects are holding huge amounts of investment. Honorable Speaker, when you consider that this money has been borrowed and then put or sunk into stalled projects, we are paying interest. These projects are not producing or helping in increasing productive capacity within the economy. Then you wonder why we should be starting other projects. We have a stock of almost $1 trillion, Honorable Speaker, installed projects, and these are all financed through borrowed funds. And this House should take a lead, particularly on our office block here, which continue to hold a lot of money. We continue, some of us, suffering without offices, and yet we are planning for new projects without finishing a project which is already over 80% finished, Honorable Speaker. We also, Honorable Speaker, when you look at the tax measures being undertaken to finance this bill, Honorable Speaker, you will see that we are going to have a challenge. We are going to have a challenge because we are in a time when the government should be giving incentives to the economy. But now we are coming up with some very difficult tax measures, Honorable Speaker. We should be careful not to kill the goose that lays the golden egg. Because when you overtax businesses, for instance, when we talk about tax measures like turnover tax, Honorable Speaker, for those who understand tax, is tax on sales. But we know that the principle of taxation is that tax should be levied on profits, not on activity. Honorable Speaker, there are many businesses, even government operations like KPLC, for instance, they are the losses. When you tell them to make tax on sales, you're already killing them. Honorable Speaker, we have very low margin businesses in this economy. They have high turnover but low margin. If you tell them to pay you money in advance, they will kill them. So in the long term, we are going to kill the goose that lays the golden egg. Honorable Speaker, I know we have to definitely finance our budget operations, but we must be careful not to affect our long-term survival by killing entrepreneurship, by killing businesses which are employing hundreds and thousands of Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, when you take businesses like oil businesses downstream, their margins are very low, but turnover is high. Businesses like steel manufacturing, their turnovers are very high, but margins are very low. If you tax them on turnover, you are going to kill them. And we should stick to the principles of good taxation system. A good taxation system will always ensure that you tax those who should be taxed. It will always ensure that it is easy to administer tax. Today, Honorable Speaker, we are introducing some tax systems where you have even to go and perhaps employ a tax collector in a farmer's shed to monitor a hen when it's laying the egg to make sure that you tax that egg. But that is not the principle of a good tax system. The principle of a good tax system should give the farmer time to feed his chicken, to collect his eggs, to take them to the market, to come back and calculate profit, and then pay tax on what is remaining. That is a good tax system. But the one where you monitor whether a chicken is about to lay egg, and then you ask the farmer whether it's you to take the egg or the farmer, that's a bad tax system. Honorable Speaker, we also have to support our small-scale businesses. We must ensure that the money we are borrowing from the banking sector is not crowding out the private sector. Honorable Speaker, we have started seeing signs of interest rates coming up because the government is borrowing a lot locally. We would request the Treasury to continue making effort to externalize part of the debt and also to manage expenditure, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, when you look at the amount of money we're paying on external loans plus interest, and what we are paying as salaries and recurrent expenditure, Honorable Speaker, it shows that we are between a rock and a hard stone, Honorable Speaker. And the only way to manage this situation is for the Treasury to come up with measures to rein on unnecessary expenditure, and also to ensure that most of the commercial loans, which are short-term with high interest rates, are actually renegotiated, externalized where we can, and also we go the multilateral, the multilateral way, where we can get loans on concession basis. I beg to support, Honorable Speaker.
Okay, so we will go by the second schedule of the standing order in terms of citing committee.